I have a confession. If you haven't tried weed lube, you really need to try it.
Hi, I'm Cybil Solon. I'm an esthetician and spa owner.
And hi, I'm Alex Ellis. I'm a body nerd and wellness expert, and we are business besties.
And we're I'm so sorry. I'm having such a fun day with weed lube today.
We're bosses.
And we're bosses. And bosses. Running your own business, it's hard. And now you know that we do this live.
But we're also terrible employees, so we're figuring it out.
I've already figured it out. But I promise to share everything we know so that you can make six figures.
And beyond. And be brutally honest about what works and what totally sucks.
Let's get started.
So clearly I sent you off the deep end. We even talked about this before we got started.
We totally did. It was not a surprise. But I just thought it was so funny. You said it so dirty.
Well, actually, one of my favorite things to do, and I highly recommend you do this with your significant other, is to read, like, normal stuff. You know, like, it started with a pizza box one time, and just, like, as sensually as you could. And I've never laughed so hard in my life. Like, and with pepperoni and Parmesan.
Oh, God. With pepperoni and Parmesan.
It's just, you can't do it with a straight face.
You say it with Parmigiano.
And Parmigiana Reggiano.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, I just didn't expect that. I just cracked it. It caught me at the wrong place, and it was just so funny.
But that's not what we're here to talk about today.
No,
not at all. Today we're here to talk about, or really answer the question: do you need more clients? Which I'm pretty sure is at top of mind if you have a business that involves people.
Yeah.
We will also be talking about your current clients, and if you are sitting on a gold mine with all of those who have already worked with you.
And we're going to talk about how to get new clients if you are a brand new business. Because quite frankly, if you are sitting around in your office and it's like crickets, and you're like, I have a brand new business and I've got nobody yet, there's ways to get those, and you should have strategies.
Yes. So this all came about from a webinar that you watched. Was it today?
It was today.
She was so mad, you guys.
I was fired up. I was screaming in this office. I had watched that like 2 hours ago when I came in here, and I was still yelling. Mm-hmm. Still yelling about it. So I watched a webinar today by, essentially we would say competition. I say that with quotes because I feel that there's really no competition, but like we'll call them competition. They're people who are doing kind of what you're doing, and you can learn from them.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey, these people are doing amazing work. I was super impressed by the stuff they were doing. I'm like, wow, they've got their crap together. They're giving valuable information. I am super psyched.
The funnel was working.
Yeah.
From a digital marketing standpoint.
Woo, yeah, I was like, woo, I am super psyched about the information that they're giving. If even one person learned something valuable from this, that's amazing. I'm like, I'm getting like reminders of stuff. I was like, juices are flowing. And then they get to like their pitch on how all of this is going to culminate into people getting more clients, which is really what their webinar was about. Everything says this is how they're going to get more clients. And I kid you not, he says, one second, I'm pulling up my photos. He says, hold on, maintenance is great. You only make money when getting new clients in the door. You're only growing your business when you get new clients. And I literally yelled at my screen. I was like, fuck you.
Told you, she was mad.
I was so angry. I must have yelled 5 or 6 times. I scared my cats. I probably scared the next door neighbor.
The roofers.
Yeah, I was so angry. The idea that you churn and burn clients is so absolutely stupid and ridiculous. Mm-hmm. You should never, ever just think about getting new clients in and new clients in and new clients in and new clients in and not be thinking about the clients that you exist already. Mm-hmm. The clients that you have are the most important clients because after he says this, he says, and I quote, he says, you don't need to care about your current clients. They don't matter.
And that's when you just close the phone.
And I was like,
walk away.
fuck you again. I was so enraged. Your clients that you have right now are so incredibly valuable to you. In fact, what always pisses me off is that people give incentives to new clients and not existing clients.
Yeah.
It always makes me angry. They're like, oh, for new clients, I'm going to give this huge, awesome incentive deal. But for your existing clients, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So, and this really, you know, as we were talking about this episode, it comes down to these two very different philosophies of, you know, bringing as many new clients in as possible versus really curating isn't the right word, but just like taking care of the clients you already have.
Like just
customer service.
Nurturing customer care, really just making sure that the clients you have, which by the way have been with you the long time, they've grown your business, they pay your bills, they pay, as my one guy says, he's like, I pay for your boat. I don't have a boat, but that's what he always says. He's like, I'm paying for your boat.
Enjoy your boat.
Right? You know, they're the people who get you in by day in and day out. They're the people who at the end of the day, when you're at the lowest and you're having trouble with your numbers, they're the people that you go to. Because what I always say, I call it dialing for dollars. Mm-hmm. When you need the money and you're low or whatever, you go to your current clients and you seek, because they are the people who love and respect you and know you.
Well, and I think that first transaction is almost the most difficult.
Yeah.
Because the person, just like you're saying, they know you. They have to trust you to be willing to spend any money with you. Mm-hmm. And so to have to overcome that hurdle every single time, it's exhausting.
Yes. And you also have the idea that once you have a client who is with you, they've become, especially with solo people, they've become family.
Yeah,
like,
you see them all the time.
I always assume that it takes about 3 visits. Like I always like joke that I don't know my clients' names, because until you've seen me 3 times, I don't know your name. Like, you're just not that important to me until I've seen you 3 times, because you're probably not going to stick with me. If you've been here like 1 time, maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times, you're probably with me now. You probably decided that you're my client and you're sticking it. Even if you only see me once a year, you're still my client. Mm-hmm. You're mine now. Even if you go down the road occasionally,
you're still going to come back.
You're still eventually going to come back to me. I'm very good at my job. You know, maybe you can't afford me all the time. Maybe you can't get on my book all the time. Maybe you see me for certain things, but you're my client now.
Well, and this whole idea of like know, like, and trust, you've already created that relationship. So instead of just trying to get like more butts and seats or like more butts on the table, what about taking care of the people who are already there? And I think you can already figure out where we fall along these different philosophies. But, you know, an idea that I throw around, I learned from a friend, is like your best customer is your repeat customer for all of those same reasons. They've already paid you for something before. They got some great results in return. So they are more likely to spend money with you again versus a stranger off the street who doesn't know you from down the street.
Right.
But, you know, as you're talking, I'm also thinking of all of these big companies that we know, like, and trust. Like Target is not trying to get brand new people in the doors all the time. They're trying to bring the people back to see the new styles of this or get toilet paper on discount or like whatever it is. They're not just pissing off their current customers because, oh, there's going to be new people. Yeah, new people are going to come in, but it's way easier to continue to nurture and upsell current clients than it is to talk some stranger off the street into paying more money.
Right. And one of the things, so I'm going to continue to go back to this particular webinar. So one of the things that he talked about that I was super into, he's like, you can't replicate what the bigger brands are doing because you are not in their same kind of wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Because you're not. Don't think to yourself that I need to brand like a big company. All right. So you are not Target. Okay. You're not going to be splashing out a bunch of like brand money, and you're not going to be putting out as much advertising.
Yeah.
But we still need to think in those same terms of we are creating a family ideal. So we are creating, when you think of Target, and we all love Target. In fact, one of my biggest compliments I ever received from a client was she's like, Cybil, seeing you is like going to Target.
Oh my God.
I know. And I was like, what does that mean exactly? And she's like, I always come here and I think I'm going to spend a certain amount of money. And then next thing you know,
Target gets you.
I've spent so much more money, but I like every single thing I purchase.
Yeah. No regrets. How do they do that?
I know. And I was like,
red.
I was like, that's so sweet.
You actually, side note, this is why Target's top of mind. I found this whole corner of the internet of accounts that literally are Target style. And they just go, I don't think they're buying the clothes. They just go try on all the clothes, style it for you. And like, they should be getting paid by Target because I was like, I need that sweater and I need that dress and I need all of it and I better go and buy it right now.
They should be paid by Target. Maybe they are secretly. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's secret. That's how it works. But so what's happening with like a brand like Target is that you go there and you know what you're going to get when you go to Target. You know the experience you're going to get. You know the customer care that you're going to get. And if you don't receive that kind of customer care, you're like, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, whenever it doesn't match your expectations.
Yeah, you're like,
surprised.
And so we've all been to a Target store where like, I'm not going back to that one.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like Black Friday. No, thank you.
Right. So we've all had that experience. And quite frankly, if I have a client who works at kind of the top echelons of Target would want to know that. They're like, we want to know that experience so we can actually go in and fix that problem.
Yeah.
So you are the same way. You need to make sure that when you look at what you're doing for your customer, that you have all those things in mind, because so much of retention of your clients and how you find clients and how you get those kind of butts in your bed and the bodies in your door is thinking about how you keep a customer happy.
Retention.
It's retention. Mm-hmm. And so when we're talking about kind of like the higher, do you really need more clients? You need to look at your list of clientele and say, how many clients do I already have on my roster? Are these the clients that I want? Are these good clients? Mm-hmm. And we have talked about this before, making sure that you're getting the kind of client that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you know what client you want. And then from there, you need to make sure you're nurturing that client.
And I think there's still a place for new people. Obviously. We can't just like sit in
because you're going to have some attrition.
Yeah. But instead of focusing like 80% on new people in the room, I would say shift that to maybe 70%. How can I love on the clients I already have? And maybe 30% of my focus is bringing in new people. I agree.
That is a great number. And I want to say, for me, I even say the more money you charge, the more you actually nurture the existing clients. Because as I've started charging even more money, I actually nurture the clients who come in my bed even more. And I think the reason why is because it is sometimes harder to get that specific client who is the exact client you want, that client of your dream. And so to keep that client happy, for me, I know that they have specific needs, and those needs are high. They're very like needy clientele. Mm-hmm. So I know for me, I've actually shifted to, I spend a lot of time nurturing my existing clientele, but they pay my bills. Right.
And a lot of that too can be systematized.
Yes, you're right. So Alex wants to talk about systems.
Yeah, we won't get there yet.
That's all very sexy time. But so keeping the existing client, when you're, so let's say that let's talk about.
Well, I have an example.
Yeah, go for it.
So I recently, over the course of the year, I've worked with a bunch of one-on-one clients virtually. And then, we gave them the service. I gave them their wellness plan, and like away they were doing their thing, checked in with them for 30 days after, but then nothing. And so a friend mentioned well, why don't you have a whole system to follow up with them? And I'm like, excuse me, what? Wait, what? But this is the exact same thing of nurturing the clients you already have who have spent money with you. And also part of what brought this to top of mind is one of those same clients reached out to me and said, hey, I need more help, because we don't solve the problem in one go. I mean, that would be really, really super cool, I suppose, but that's not how life works. So just a way to conceptualize this and here's something to do. Reach out to the clients that you already have. How are you? How are things going? How is that product, that new product? And you have a whole system in place for that.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the systems I actually do pretty well. So I could do better. But so I actually have a system. I like to use video. I find for skin people that video works really well, and probably most things in life actually.
Well, it's way more personal than email.
Yeah, I find that, and email kind of gets lost in the clutter nowadays. But if you have a video on it, people are like, oh, I clicked on the video. It was awesome. So what happens is when a client first walks through the door, and this is super specific.
Side note, I get
Yeah.
so many ideas while we're sitting here talking. I'm sorry, I just got another idea. I'm like, oh, I gotta go do this.
Well, tell us the idea.
To instead of emails, because I just sent boring ass emails to some of these current clients, and big shocker, didn't hear back from any of them. I was like, oh, I could send them a video.
Do videos, man.
It's like, duh.
Let's do it. Let's do both.
Everybody send videos.
Yeah. So videos are the future, people. Video. I mean, you're watching potentially a video right now. It's possible. I mean, we're on YouTube right now.
Well, but you can say, hey, Jane, how's it going? How is this, oh, did you remember that technique I showed you, or like whatever?
Exactly.
And you can't communicate that just through text.
So one of the things that I do is, so let's say I have a new client who's come through my door, and a new client has walked in and they found me through whatever way they found me. And I've had a good conversation with them. I've had them at bed. They purchased some product. And the first thing I do is when they leave is I make sure that I write down for my end of my day stuff that I have to get done, is I send them out a video that's specific to them on how they use their new product. Okay, very specific. And yes, it gets super boring doing these, being like, make sure you wash your face in circles for 30 seconds. That's right, Jane. Wash it for 30 seconds, like this. Very specific. Next thing you know, you're going to put on a quarter to a pump of whatever moisturizer, whatever their step routine is. But that video is so valuable. When I first started, I would just load these up to YouTube, and I'd send them a private link. Now I use a system called Dubb, D-U-B-B. We'll have it in the show notes or whatever the heck place we do. I use a system called Dubb. I really like that because you can do triggers and stuff with it.
It's like an automation.
Yeah, an automation with it. And it's also, it makes them really small. It makes them small and sends them right into the email.
Are you, like, the information you're sending to these people, is it usually similar?
Yes, but it has their name. Often it's similar because people buy the same type things.
Right.
But they don't always buy the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I have tried to be like, well, what if everybody who just bought, because Nils and I had this discussion once. What if everybody who just bought, like, you like send a video for just a cleanser, but then they have like 7.
Well, because wheels are turning.
Systems.
Yeah, because are you able to put a link in the video you send? So, like, you can send them the personalized video and then a next step.
So what would the next step be?
So, for example, I'd say, hey, Jane, it was so great to have you in today. I really enjoyed working with you. I put together some videos that are going to explain to you how to use your product, and all you need to do to check them out is like click the link below, and it sends them to those playlists.
Oh.
Because then that's only, 15 seconds of your time doing a video. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to redo that stuff that's already really good.
And then their playlist would be like, I would just throw their playlist with like, it would be.
Or not even, you link them to the one video that you were going to make anyway.
See, but it's never one video. It's always like they buy like 3 products.
So then maybe it is like a new product playlist or something that it's a bunch of videos.
I never know what they're going to be using.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to definitely have a conversation so we can make this easier. But this is what I do. So this is what I do. And then I have a Shopify system which will send out an email 3 days post. So after I've seen them 3 days post, it makes sure it sends a thing saying, hey, is everything going okay? Because 3 days is a good enough time for people. And you will tell them, and I always say to people, this is exactly what I tell them. Listen, I need you to know if you're having any problems, please get back to me. I'm not psychic. I've tried. I have really bad psychic skills. They're very bad. But if you could please get back to me if you have any problems, questions, or concerns. Okay? Nobody ever gets back to me, and I'll see them in the next visit, or when I check up on them in 3 days, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I did have this rash. Oh, I stopped using that product because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, so shit happens, guys, and you wouldn't know if you didn't check in.
Yeah. And even top of mind, just staying at top of mind for customers and letting them know you're still there.
Yeah, so checking in with people, and time it just squeezes by. Like today, I was like, it's Friday. What?
I know.
Oh my God, we're doing this show. Oh my gosh. So I check in with them, make sure everything's doing okay. If there was any kind of problems, I might have a video for that. So a lot of times the pump is broken. They had problems opening it. I do have a video that is already made for that, and I can just send that off to them.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like maybe the product didn't work, and I need to switch it out, whatever. So
well, and this is for like new clients, but what if there's a client who you haven't seen in a while?
Okay. So, and then I have a whole system in place for clients who I haven't seen in a bit. Okay. We're going to call those attrition clients. So that's a big marketing word, attrition. This is when a client you haven't seen for a bit. So I have a kind of 3 pathways for that. So the first pathway is I actually do physical cards. I should have brought the cards in. They're sitting out there. I actually have physical cards, and I had them handmade. So they were like $2, I think, a piece to have them handmade. And I have one that says like, hey there. I have another one that just says like, great seeing you. I have another one that's just like amazing, 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 stuff like that. I also, by the way, keep these cards for when something awesome happens, like on the bed. So if somebody was talking about their like daughter had an amazing event or something, I'll send them a card because nothing keeps a client to feel nurtured.
Seriously.
Like getting a card for
In the
no
mail.
reason at all.
Yeah. Snail mail is very powerful.
Yeah, because we don't get snail mail anymore. Everything's in this inbox and it's all digital and just gets lost in the shuffle.
And I will say, we're talking about act sort of like the big brand. Target is not sending out custom.
No.
That's one way that as a solopreneur, like we can move quicker,
The physical.
do the personalized things that really, really mean a lot to our clients.
Yeah, Christmas cards, guys, they matter. They matter these days. Real physical ones, they matter these days. 295 of them went out this year. Like, this is how it is. So I send a card out. If somebody hasn't seen me in 3 months, I send a physical card saying, it says, hey there. Okay.
But how do you know when to send it?
All right. So this is when your reports are really important. If you are still being like antiquated and like using like a paper system.
Postcards in a box.
Yeah. Using a paper system. Listen, more power to you, girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. But you need to get a system that like tracks whether, even if it's like
It's
Google,
like a digital assistant.
yeah, Google spreadsheet even. Like,
Please don't. No, I'm gonna like spreadsheets, but not for customer.
I have no idea how else you're going to do this. I use.
Well, where's your client database?
Mine's on Shopify right now, but I've used Mindbody Online. There's a lot of them out. There's a lot of them out there. Okay,
Yeah.
We're not representing any of them right now. I will say I used Mindbody Online for many years. I moved over to Shopify. I've had exceptionally good results with Shopify. Yeah, I think the only problem I'm having, I told you, it doesn't keep credit cards on file, which is making me annoyed. You've used Square. Does Square run reports?
Yeah, it runs reports, and so you can see the last time they were there. It also saves credit cards.
There you go.
So yeah, you can easily run a monthly report, and each month just like have that be one of the tasks that you do in your bookkeeping kind of thing.
So I run weekly reports on my clients to see who the big spenders are. I run a report on who hasn't been in the last week, 3 weeks, 6 months. That's what matters to me. Okay, I run another report for Yelp situation stuff, but that's a whole nother that's a whole nother episode. But those are the primary things. And then I also send an email out if you haven't seen me in 6 months and I haven't heard back from you. Okay, so if I heard back from you from the card, by the way, I also probably send an email on that 3 week, but I almost never hear back from them. The card I'll hear back from.
Yeah.
Okay. If in 6 months I haven't heard back from you, I send an email and it says on the top there, it says mine all say Adele lyrics. So this one's like, I think this one is the call, just call me now one, I think. They're all Adele lyrics. Just call me now or something like that. And it's just like, hey, if you don't want to hear from me anymore, I understand. And let me know to take you off my email list.
Right.
Okay. Because also I just want to take them off my email list as well because I'm paying to send them emails. And they're probably not actually looking at them. And emails cost you money.
Yeah. And this is something that's automated, right?
This is automated.
Yeah, you're not sending these emails individually.
No, I am not. But I then go through them individually if I don't hear back from them.
But I just realized, I have an automation set up for this within my own email marketing system. And I was just looking at it this weekend.
Yeah.
And I was accidentally unsubscribing everybody no matter what they said. I was like, my gosh, oh no. So
that's terrifying.
Definitely check on this stuff regularly.
No, that's terrifying. So we do that. And then the other thing that I really make sure I do is that I will double check like a year later. And I might, if they didn't like tell me to take them off my email list or anything, I might just double check with them. And this is when I actually text somebody, and I hate texting, my clients know it. I might just check in with them with a text because some people they just need another level. And if you're a texter and you text with your clients, you might decide to do a different way to do this. You might be a texter and you text to check in with them or you message them, whatever means of communication you use. So for me, this is when I often will text them a year later if I haven't heard back from them. But I will also make sure that I contact them in a way that they can kind of get a hold of me. So I'll just kind of reach out to them and be like, hi, this is Cybil. I haven't heard from you in a while, and I just want to make sure everything was going well. If for any reason I did something wrong when I saw you or anything, can you just let me know? Because I just want to make sure everything's going well with you. It's very important for my business that I try to make sure everybody was happy with me. And, if there was something I could do to make you happier, please let me know.
Yeah, that's really a good point, because there's so many, like I've done this to, you had a bad experience with a doctor even. And I'm like, well, I am never going back there again, but you don't necessarily tell them.
Right. And a year later, I find that it's often enough space for people where they're not like
super pissed.
They're not pissed. Also, that gives them enough room to feel comfortable telling you as well. Like, if you did something wrong, like you said something wrong or they just were uncomfortable, they can just be like, yeah, no, you know what? I just didn't like your style. Or like when you gave me an extraction, I had a mark. Right. And you can just be like, okay, well, I'm sorry that you had this. I had that. Thank you so much. And you can be like, you can give them an offer to come back if you'd like, whatever you do. For often depending on what it is, I'll often be like, hey, I'm just really sorry. Thanks so much. And I just let them go.
Yeah. Well, and this is also a great opportunity to really think about, who are your perfect clients? Mm-hmm. And this is a chance to be like, oh, you're not my perfect client. Goodbye. Yes. And not follow up with that specific person.
Yeah. It's 100% true.
You can, is it like separate the chaff from the wheat? Is that what the story
pretty much
is?
it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's kind of like what I do for kind of like my systems that are in place to make sure that I'm kind of retaining the clients that I'm looking for. The other thing I do is I run reports when I feel like my business is kind of suffering or I know that I have months that are going to be quiet, is I kind of like I call dialing for dollars. I reach out to my clients who maybe I haven't seen or have kind of fallen off the book a little bit. And I just kind of reach out to them and I'm like, hi, I see they haven't booked in a little while. I want to make sure that I'm get you on my book. It's getting busy. And this is when I usually incentivize. So I'm just like, I have a new special or I have a new offer or I'm doing a new promotion, something like that. I want to make sure I get you in.
Because that was going to be my next question too, is if you are reaching out, do you start with not necessarily the pitch, or is it really truly like, when would you differentiate between I'm going to reach out and just say, hey, how's it going versus, hey, how's it going? I'm filling up,
Generally, if it's been a while, so if it's been 3 to 6 months, I don't offer an incentive yet. I wait for them to get back to me before I incentivize. Usually I'm just their family, right? I haven't seen them in a while. I haven't talked to them.
Yeah, so it's just reaching out.
I'm just reaching out, making sure everything's okay. Time just flies.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that differentiation, because also think too for yourself, you don't want to be sold to the first.
You're my family. Why would I reach out and offer you like some kind of special for coming to see me?
Right.
Now, if I haven't seen you in a long time, maybe you do need some incentive. Maybe you don't want to see your mom. Maybe you need an incentive.
I'm making chocolate pie.
Right, exactly. So in that case, I'll reach out a little bit.
Okay, cool. So hopefully this is giving you too some ideas, and your wheels are turning sort of like mine, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be taking notes on all of this, because the people, again, who have already paid you money, like those are your best clients. And so reaching out to them, checking in, sending physical cards, sending, personalized messages. I think the personalization is really what allows us to stand apart from larger companies and brands, because we are able to make those relationships and connections with our clients, because it's just you and them,
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah. And then I think the other thing that's important to talk about is if you don't have clients at all. So the only time that the idea of kind of where we started with the churn and burn of clients is like his philosophy on that particular webinar was you need to get butts in the door, right? You need all the butts, get all the butts. It doesn't matter what you do with those clients, all the butts. The only time you want to utilize some of those strategies is if you really have 0 clients. You've got 0 clients because maybe you don't yet know what kind of client you're looking for. And God forbid, let's hope that you do at least kind of have an idea. But if you really are like, I just need clients.
Yeah.
I have no money, right? You need somebody. So you're trying to get a bunch of people on your book. Yeah. And maybe that's the only time that I would be okay with the idea of just blanketing the world with like just churning the clients. Because if you continue to just churn, at some point you run out of clients.
Yeah. Well, and also if your focus is always bringing new people in, the experience of the person who's actually here may not be top notch.
Right. Like you remember when Groupon was like this new thing?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I hate Groupon.
Right. We all hate Groupon.
I mean, okay, wait, let's rephrase this. I love Groupon as a customer.
I don't even love Groupon as a customer.
But it sucks for the business owner. And actually, I have spoken to another business owner who runs, he has a physical product that he has to be there in person, and he's using Groupon just for advertising. And I'm like, why would you pay them to get paid less for something that, like, social media right now allows us to get for free?
Right.
Use the things that are already out there, word of mouth, social media, going out and, God forbid, talking to real people.
Right.
Instead of paying something like Groupon.
Right. Well, the thing, I mean, Groupon. I don't even like Groupon as a user because I think the user experience for most Groupon is really crappy.
Yeah,
because everybody knows that they're just getting reamed.
And they know, too, that, like, they're never going to see you again.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
So churn and burn.
Yeah.
Churn and burn. Mm-hmm. You're getting this experience of, like, I know you're coming in, you're just here for a deal, and I don't really care about you. You don't care about me. We're just in and out. Mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. And that is the churn and burn philosophy. Do you want a client who has a churn and burn philosophy? And that's kind of like the promotion of that. Whereas if you put this systematic idea of, I'm offering you an experience, I'm offering you this value of what we're doing, and this isn't going to be a relationship.
Right.
That's the kind of client you're going to bring in.
And you could, like you're saying, use some of these strategies and then bring people in, give them a fantastic time.
Right.
And then use these same follow-up principles to maintain them as clients. And I feel like you will reach a point where you have enough clients that you don't have to keep doing that.
Right. And ultimately, that's how I built a business and a clientele, is that, I built that up through just bringing in clients, and it was a lot of clients, and I did do the things where I was like, I never did a Groupon. I did a Living Social once, and
It's like the same thing.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is horrifying.
How many people called you the day it expired?
Nobody actually.
Are you serious?
No, nobody actually. But
the yoga studio, it was the worst. The worst.
But I think that I was a baby esthetician at the time, so I just moved to a new location. I was like, oh my god, I'll give it a try. This is a new thing because I was trying new things, especially with marketing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is horror. This is just the worst kind of clients.
The horror.
The worst kind of clients. But it did get butts and beds. But the retention on that was complete crap.
Yeah. Well, and that's back to this idea, too, of like, who is your perfect client?
Yeah.
Is your perfect client someone who's just, they want a deal, they're going to nickel and dime you all the time and not stay around?
So if you're out there thinking, oh my God, I've done a bunch of these things, don't feel bad, I've done them too. That's why you're listening. If you're out there being like, okay, I can avoid these situations, but I feel like I'm really scared. And I just need a bunch of clients. Okay, so the ways to get clients are like being good at your job, and then kind of just like making sure that you're kind of getting yourself out there, like be on Yelp, have a decent website. Oh, and he was like, you don't need a website. Websites are stupid. Websites are 100% necessary, okay? You need a website because people are going to look you up and find you.
And if I have to look 3 times, you need a better brand name. I'm sorry.
You need a website, okay? It doesn't have to be like phenomenal and fancy.
No, 1 page. Who you are, what you do, and how to call you.
It needs to be up there, and you need to have something that has a picture of you doing what you do.
Like more notes. I'm like, oh my God, I need to go update my homepage.
Oh my God, and have prices, because the one thing I've learned is put your freaking prices on the page. It's the number one question you're going to get asked. Put them somewhere really obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're going to get price questions.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother discussion too, because I was given some poor advice about, no, don't give the price because you want to get them on the call and
no, put your prices.
Just let people know. I think treat your customers as you would like to be treated. I think it's like the golden rule, right? Like, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Do you want to be swindled? Do you want to be upsold? Do you want to be hoodwinked? No. So why do we try to use marketing tactics that do that to our customers? It doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So
yes,
I think I think we've covered most of the stuff today. Oh my gosh.
I think we have. We talked about a lot of stuff.
And I'm not as angry now.
Oh, good. That is one thing, too. We want to come on here and talk about things and process things and feel better. So I'm having, like, did you ever watch, it's, like, YouTube specific. It was Joe Rogan's podcast where he talks for, like, hours with Elon Musk. And he just asked him.
Oh, my God. He was so high.
Oh, they got super high.
Yeah,
I know.
they're so high.
But he goes, like, what's it like in your head? And Elon Musk just goes, explosions.
Yes.
Just so many explosions. And like literally I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, boom, 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 boom. But I can't keep up. So Elon, if you're out there, I feel you. You're an alien, but I feel you.
Well, he's really doing he's doing such good work.
He's a smart cookie. He's not like us.
No, he's beyond us because he's both doing smart work and he's like really trying to like help the earth at the same time.
Yeah.
And that is our advertisement for Elon Musk and how amazing he is.
Not sponsored, but happily will be sponsored.
Elon Musk, you're awesome. We think you're amazing. I mean, he's a pioneer. That's the thing. Pioneers.
Yeah.
It's hard to be it's hard to be a pioneer and visionaries. We have a whole episode on Lin-Manuel Miranda because that's also pioneer.
Yep.
It's hard.
So here's some more ideas of like the fix, what exactly to do. And so I think the next step to get us back onto tying this up with a nice bow would be to go look at some, the technical term would be CRMs, like client, is it relations?
Yeah, client retention, or I think it's client relation or retention management systems.
Basically,
CRM.
It's something that keeps tabs on your clients when they came in, the last time they were in, how much they spent. So you're able to run these types of reports like we've been talking about.
One of the good ones, if you use WordPress, Amelia is supposed to be really good. And that's a plugin for... So these are the ones I know about. So Amelia is supposed to be good if you use WordPress. I use one called Book Like a Boss for bookings. It does not keep much client information. I use Shopify. I use Square.
Yeah, I have to say for Square, I don't use all of the options, and they allow you to like add stuff on because they do have a calendar booking. They even just added like a texting thing so your client can text and like AI will help them reschedule and you can turn that on or off. You can store credit cards. You can do all that kind of follow up. Email marketing. I mean, it's just there's so much stuff.
And there's a ton out there, and like yoga studios use
Mindbody.
I mean, everybody uses Mindbody. I used Mindbody for years. I only moved off of them because they got too expensive and they didn't have webs. They didn't have like a online shopping portal, which is how we should be making money.
No, I know.
So and because they had
Mindbody,
because I had to leave them.
Ask me how many passwords I have for Mindbody.
A bazillion.
Why?
Me too.
Why is there not one?
And they don't have an online selling portal. So
ask us how we really feel.
Yeah. Ask you Mindbody online.
So just Google it. Ask around. Ask some friends.
Yeah. What do they use? What do they like? And just make sure that the important things to know for that one is you want to make sure that it has, can you run reports on when the clients have been in? Can you collect emails and pull out email information on them?
And phone numbers. Addresses so that you can send nice cards.
Birthdays are good. Shopify does not have birthdays.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's annoying. You have to have like a special plugin that costs more money. It's stupid.
Square does birthdays. I don't know if you can automate the email, but I know they have that.
Yeah, so it's a pain. So you have that. And what else do I find very, very valuable for my reporting? I think those are the things I find very valuable when I'm using. Do you find any other valuable things when you're doing your reports?
No, because I'm realizing I'm not running these reports and I'm really dropping the ball. Because here's my thing. Like, I have so many explosions going on in my head at all times. So I'm all about setting up a system that runs in the background, but clearly that also isn't infallible because I was unsubscribing people who did not want to unsubscribe.
This is why we are together because we have different strengths. I
know.
I'm a reporter. I love my reports. I dig deep into those reports and look at my numbers.
Not to say that you can't become that person because I actually have a KPI spreadsheet now. You know, I'm actually tracking numbers. I don't know what they mean.
What are KPIs?
Key performance indicators.
There you go.
So you could ask me like how many new subscribers or how many downloads I had on my pod. You know, like I'm keeping tabs on those numbers. And I've talked about this before. I'm still not done with the book because I started reading another book, but how to contextualize that data to then do something with it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, you can become a numbers person
got super
later.
Nerdy. We got so nerdy. We got number nerdy. See, number nerdy makes me happy. The marketer inside me is like, oh, the numbers. Yeah. So maybe not so good with systems, but really good with the numbers. So if you ever want to like have lots of number chats,
yes,
all about the numbers.
But all of that is to say, you know, have something too that you can not set and forget, but that can run in the background, so
Yeah.
to speak. You know, we live in a time where we have access to like robot assistants who can be our assistants, who can do things for us without you having to have your hands in everything. Because when you don't have your hands in everything every minute of the day, you can serve the client in your room even better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So that's
All she wrote.
that's the show, guys.
I keep trying to make that my catchphrase, but that's like already somebody else's catchphrase, but that's fine.
All right, so we are going to finish up with make sure that if you have questions, if you wind up having like a really good CRM or use an online booking
Tell
system,
us.
yeah, let us know. Let everybody know because we'll let everyone know too.
Yeah, so find us on Instagram. We are at Skinfessional.
And your skin fitness expert.
Is Cybil, and I am at Hala for Mala. But come find us on Skinfessional.
Right, and we also have a Skinfessional box, and you can call
It's a voicemail.
You can call it at 818-473-5277.
And we will put that in the description if you're like, numbers make my brain scramble.
I know, and I do appreciate the people who have been calling and giving me ideas for shows.
Ooh.
Because we have had a few, and I have been putting the show notes together for those, so thank you.
So thank you for all of your requests.
Yes, it actually has been very helpful. Thank you. Also, the messages. People have been giving us Facebook Messenger, which is not something that's on here, but they find us. They find us. So until next week.
Keep your secrets to yourself.
Unless you're telling us.
Okay, bye.
Bye.